Hello, for my country report, I decided to research India. In this video, I will discuss women and human rights in India. Here is a brief overview of what I will be discussing in this presentation. I will start off by talking about women's rights before circulating the censorship and human rights violations that are occurring under the BJP. Then I will discuss prostitution and slavery in India. Approximately 80% of India's population practices Hinduism. In Hinduism, women are viewed as divine. This is because one of the central deities in Hinduism is Shakti, the mother goddess. Respect towards women is reflected in the survey results included on this slide. In a survey of Indian adults, only 24% of Indian women reported that women face heightened discrimination in India in comparison with men. While this response reflects an ideal situation, unfortunately, the reality of Indian women does not match with the results of this survey. Tragically, rates of gender-based violence are high in India. In 2021, 428,278 criminal cases in India involved crimes against women. This number represents a 26.35% increase in crimes against women since 2015, which was only a 6-year period. One thing that is important to note is that these figures only represent crimes that were reported. Women rarely see justice for reporting an instance of sexual harassment, rape, or another form of abuse because they are rarely believed. Additionally, if a woman vocalizes that she has been raped, she might be outcasted, ostracized, or publicly shamed. In some regions of India, rape is highly stigmatized, not for the man, but for the woman. It is viewed as a woman losing her honor or her purity. In conjunction with the high rates of violence that Indian women experience, the maternal mortality rate in India is high. 440 women out of every 100,000 live births die during labor. This high maternal death rate is largely due to economic disparities in India. Some women do not have access to the maternal health care that they need. The political party that's currently in power in India, the Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP, also violates the rights of women, specifically women who are religious minorities in India. The BJP is a Hindu nationalist party whose policies are detrimental to India's religious minority populations, including India's Muslims and Christians. In 2014, the BJP rose to power when its leader, Prime Minister Modi, was elected. Since then, there has been an uptick in violence against religious minorities in India. Indian citizens have gathered to protest against the BJP's unfair policies. However, the BJP has targeted Indian citizens' right to an assembly. Prime Minister Modi is known to persecute Indian citizens who dissent him, including journalists and religious leaders. Individuals who have spoken out against Modi have been jailed, and some have even had their visas revoked. The Constitution of India guarantees all of its citizens freedom of assembly and freedom of press. However, the BJP has been attacking these two fundamental rights. The 2023 Telecommunications Act gave the government the right to access, filter, and control online communications. While the election process in India is considered fairly stable, the BJP's actions are indicative of corruption within India's government. Censorship and restriction of assembly are not the only civil rights violations ongoing in India. Slavery is more prevalent in India than in any other nation. An estimated 100 million Indians live in enslavement. This number is equal to 8 out of every 1,000 Indian citizens, and children are included within this estimate. Citizens in India might be trapped into forced labor situations because of being in debt, taking out loans, or entering unfair agreements with an employer. Enslaved people in India may be forced to do domestic work, agricultural labor, or even mine. An estimated 3 to 9 million enslaved people in India are forced to work in brothels. Many girls enter prostitution young, as virginity is prized and sought after. Girls from low-income families are led to believe that there is no other option for them besides entering prostitution in order to support their family. In some instances, low-income families even sell their children into prostitution. Indian brothels are among the most brutal in the world. When a girl enters a brothel, she is forced to undergo a breaking period in which she is tortured, starved, and raped. This period is meant to break her spirit and decrease the likelihood of her trying to escape the brothel. Women who do manage to escape prostitution run the risk of being beaten and dragged back to the brothel that they escaped from. Additionally, local authorities may not believe her and may even report her to the brothel. Many humanitarian groups in India are working to ensure that girls from marginalized communities have access to a proper education. Education empowers young women, showing them that prostitution is not the only means of survival. It also ensures that the leaders, scientists, and activists of tomorrow have the proper tools they need to succeed. In conclusion, India has much to improve on when it comes to women and minority populations. In the next general election, which will occur in May of 2029, 1/3 of the seats in the Lok Sabha, or House of the People, will be reserved for women. Hopefully, this will result in the elevation of women's voices in India, and significant issues affecting the female population will be addressed. Thank you for watching.